What going What's going on, everybody? This is David Mitchell here, and welcome back to Fans of Train, episode 47. And oh boy, we really dodged a bullet, but Dana, I do think it should have happened. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, is the railroad strike on Wall Street. Or not Wall Street, but on the Class 1 railroads, to be more exact. Oof. That I'll be on about. That strike should have happened. My point is that the Class 1, the strike will both begin yesterday on Saturday. And what happened is that the union and the Class 1 railroads came to an agreement. And a strike was diverted. And the reason why the railroad strike was for better working, because they wanted a better working environment and better treatment and all that, better pay too. And they wanted better livable I can't say the word properly, conditions. But the Class 1 railroads were just being straight up fuckwads, if y'all know what I mean. If y'all know what I mean, then you would understand. But what's been happening, and it's something I don't agree with because of all crap that's been going on. But yeah. And it's something I really disagree with in a way. Because let's be honest, what the Class 1 railroad has been doing are terrible. And the whole thing is that everything been going bad. Oof. Oh wow. Someone being a bride in one of our groups. No. 1 minute, guys. But crazy thing is that there will both be a railroad strike yesterday. And what happened is they came to agreement a few hours right before the strike even happened. Which, I'll be honest, all that BS I did not agree with. And I do support the union and the railroad worker because the thing is that they should have gone on strike. That thing, they should have gone on strike. And the Class 1 railroads, they had no right in what they did, you know? They're technically getting away with shit, if y'all know what I mean. Oh boy. Table reader was a little dirty, but that's fine. But stuff that Class 1 railroads are doing, I don't agree with. It's terrible on what they're doing. I also talked about it in Dimitri live stream on YouTube last week on the American Rail Club YouTube channel, which I'll put the link to his YouTube channel if you guys want to go watch the live stream, because I'll be honest, I did came in like a chat on his live stream. But we did get serious about some stuff and railroad strike and all that. And yeah, if you hear from my voice, I am a little sick. So you can hear the grasp up because my throat. But the Class 1 railroads, they begged the government to talk to the union. All of them came to an agreement. And Dana, I wouldn't have came to agreement until we got better work conditions. One of the reasons why the union was going on strike because they wanted better working condition and livable wages. Like they wanted their wages to go up, and that was the reason why. Look like another friend of mine is live streaming on their YouTube channel and doing a train sim route. But let me get back to what I'm saying. The crowd one were freaking out because they were both be a strike, and everybody was saying it was going to go bad. And Jane is that I do agree because let's be honest, a lot of shit right now that be going on. I think it's a crazy, but yeah. Damn. Jesus, everybody in chats are going fucking crazy. But a lot of crazy BS from the Class 1s. I'll be honest, the union should have kept on going on strike. That I'll be honest about. They could have kept on going on strike because I do not support what the Class 1 railroads are doing. So, yeah. Also, I want everybody to know if anybody wondering why episode 520 and 519 are mixed, like with 520 first and then 513 public. That's not my fault. I did not mix up the number. It's YouTube being a little, deciding that they wanted to put episode 520 first and then put 519 above it. 519 about 1 minute older than 520. Like I could bring up on YouTube Studios right here because it is a glitch that I think YouTube should fix. Look. On Studio, it's saying 519 instead of 520. But when I go to YouTube and it's saying, we'll be right back. I forgot one thing. Developing a model train. It's not a model train magazine. Train magazine.
Here?
Yeah. Grab me one. Yeah. Oh, I already did it before.
You did it.
Xfinity customers join Xfinity Rewards to get an early access code to play the open beta. Early access begins September.
Alright. I'm sorry. Alright, I almost forgot this. That one over a year old. Technically, that one became a year old this month. So from over a year ago. But I think it's still important to talk about this when you did think about it. But yeah, let me get back to what I was saying because that one I forgot. YouTube is trying to be a fuckwad. And yeah, you can see the problem. YouTube decided to do tit one first instead of tit one when tit one was supposed to go first. And and my point is YouTube gotta fix that. So yeah, so anybody are wondering what been going on right there, it because YouTube tried to be a you know what. So yeah. I can't fix it because I don't know what to do, but YouTube is being a complete, brat about it. So yeah. I gotta figure out how to get the glare off my glasses because you guys could see it right here. Let me call Brightline fan because oh boy, did something that I gotta talk to him about. But yeah. Now me and Val are gonna be hanging out with a friend next week on Wednesday. She'll probably go to Editon. So yeah. So we gonna do some Ralph Fana with him. Probably might end up having to cancel it. Right, look like right line fan is busy right now. Well let me you busy. But my god, some of the crazy shit that been going on been going crazy. Like wow. But it been crazy on what been going on when you did think about it. But yeah. Because it's been a lot of wows left and right. Heck, and when I'm talking about this one from over a year ago, a lot of stuff have changed since it came out. That I'll be on it about. And stuff that I don't agree on been happening with the railroads, Like, it literally been stuff that I don't agree with that the Class 1 railroad been doing, and I don't like what been going on. I don't, because I don't agree with them, because the shit that been going on, I don't agree on. And I think it's wrong. But yeah. Like, literally. It's up that, I'll be honest, we need to work on. Heck, even Admiral Element on the Terminus broadcast talked about it. Like, literally, he even talked about it. Like, a lot of people talked about it in a way. And that I'll be on it about. Like, literally, and I'm just saying, holy cow, some of the crazy shit that's been going on, I don't agree with. Like, literally, we could be doing so much better right now. Also, I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in description down, not it down below, but in chat too. Buddy under my feet. Buddy! Come here. I'm sorry, my dog. My little football. Buddy! Buddy! Hey there, boy. I'm cool. Alright, run away. Buddy! My little football right there. Got my little football. But yeah. But we've been having a lot of crazy stuff happening. Val watching her NASCAR 1 minute. And Buddy under my feet again, by the way. But yeah, like Jane with the class ones is that I don't agree with what they're doing. But yeah. Let me get one of our guy in the chat, see if they're busy. Alright, we're back. Dang. Mostly everybody busy tonight, you know? Heckley and Brightline fan don't usually get on until after 8 anyway. But I'll be brutally honest. Stuff that's been going on right now. It total. Oh, my phone is dead. I would not be able. Oh, damn. Well, let me. Do you have a tablet or a laptop? Damn. I'm not gonna lie. That actually really sucks. Feel bad for Brightline fan. Ooh. Damn. But my God. Some of the crazy shit that are going on right now, it's just fucking mind boggling. But yeah. Busy. But yeah. It's just fucking crazy on what's been going on. Because some of the stuff that is going on right now, it's just mind boggling. Ooh. Let me troll Val. Let me troll my wife. I'm going to try to troll Val. She probably not even on her. I'll bring it up. Val is a big Among Us fan. So, yeah. And I was going to say a little sus to troll her. Oh my God. If I get Alan Fisher on the live stream, that gonna be something else. Oh, he in another call. Damn. Because I really wanted to get him on. Because right now, I do think a lot of stuff need to be talked about. And this is a perfect time to talk about it. I'll be honest. Like, literally. And Dewey is snoring. But, yeah. It's a crazy what's been going on. But, yeah. Oh god, nope. We got a bro pony in the chat. Oh Val, you know I tried calling you.
Yes.
I was going to mess with you.
Ow! I'll take the indoors, so I'm in the room, and I'll take
But
the room.
yeah, but no. Oh. Only trying to get me with the makeup. Oh.
Where are you clothing for Norman?
Oh.
This one?
Yeah.
Alright. I already prepared the Walmart uniform for you.
Thank you, Valley Poom.
No problem.
But yeah, I did kind of crapped on my work plate last in Dimitri live stream last week. That's something I'm going to bring up real quick. I did kind of crapped on because of stuff we do and some the messed up stuff that I don't think we should be doing. I'll be honest. There are better ways to handle stuff, if y'all know what I mean. Alright, I'm glad you. One minute. I am live streaming, so if anybody wants to join, join. Oh, sorry. But yeah, it's just been crazy, you know? But yeah, some of the stuff that's been happening, it's just mind boggling. Like, literally. And I'll be brutally honest. It's just crazy. Like, my God, some of this stuff, if y'all know what I mean. If y'all know what I mean, oh yeah, that right. Because I am a part of it, I get the kick. Oh God, I'm not going to be a dick. But I'll be honest. Some of the shit that's been going on, I do not agree with. Oh, what? What's like what's been going on in? Oh yeah, part of one Discords I'm part of. Oh yeah, that right, that Ollie Discord, one of the friends from A&N. But I'll be honest. Like, it's crazy when you just think about shit that is going on. I'll be honest. You know, it's funny. If Dimitri do a live stream, I'm going to, try to do a live stream. Like, literally. At that, I'll be honest. Saying that I'll be honest about is that with all crazy stuff right now, I do think we need to work on some stuff, if y'all know what I mean. And it's just crazy. Whew. It's mind-boggling. Like, holy cow, in a way. Like, holy cow. Seeing that, let me get one of the guy in. Go on, try to get one of the guys in that we have not got in a long time. But yeah. But there is some crazy stuff happening right now. Probably because I did it a little too early. If y'all know what I mean. mean. But yeah, I'm trying to get people. Everybody remotely busy, you know? One minute, guy. Like literally, I'll be on it. Did the point. It did crazy on what's been going on. All right, did. All right, let's get him. Oh, 1 minute, guys. But I'll be on it. The crap ones, I don't agree with the PSR bullcrap that they're trying to port down, or Precision Scheduled Railroading, what it called, or PSR. Precision Scheduled Railroading, it's called PSR for short, if y'all know what I mean. Yes, yes, I can. And Jane. But yeah, Jane that I'm talking about. PSR or Precision Scheduled Railroading. It one of the reasons why the unions are mad. And that PO 89 coming. About 20 minutes late. Let me go ahead and bring him into the call. Or he probably in another call. I should, do the on the group page. But yeah, be right back, guys. There he is. Damn. He is running late. And I mean actually running late. That I'll be on about. Oop. 1 minute. We're weeking out again. For y'all don't know, we got a problem with our refrigerator weekend. But yeah. But I am trying to get people in right now. All right. Here we go. They gotta wait until he, pick up. But great thing is that Wall Street is the reason why we're in that mess. Even though strike been diverted and they came down to a deal, they give it about another year. They only postponed it for a year. So we'll probably be in this same situation again next year. Or probably in a couple months from now. Oh, sorry, buddy. Oh, my God. I am so sorry, guy. I moved it. Oh my god. Oh. Whew. I've completely forgot that buddy was under me when I moved the seat. Oh my god, that just scared the crap out of me. Why I don't like my dogs under me. Oh my god. I am sorry you guys had to hear that. I am terribly sorry. But that won't happen again. Oh my god. But it's just been crazy. Why do I go on? Well, I'll be honest. That did scare the crap out of me. My god. One minute. Because I'll be honest. On that right there, I'm sorry, you guys. Because I did not even remember he was under me again. Like, oof. I moved my right. Right. Here what happened. I moved my seat right here up, and I got his back foot got caught. But sorry, you guys had to hear that. Okay. All right, there we go. Hey man, you doing? Hey, you doing good?
Yeah, you?
Doing good. Hey, you heard about them? Coming to an agreement with the railroad strike, the union, and the class ones.
No, I have not read that. All I know is it got delayed a bit. It's still probably gonna happen.
It's still going to happen, but the day that the strike was both to happen was yesterday. The railroad strike was both begin yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that because all the long distance Amtrak trains got canceled because I was going to go see the Lakeshore and it was mine.
All right, PO 89 to Palmetto did pass about 10 minutes ago, or technically not even that.
I got a 244 and 237 yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Mostly it's P32s usually.
Well, I live right by the CSX Charleston sub, or the A line. You know the A line?
No.
Where the otter train go by?
No, I've never heard of that. I live by the river line.
Oh, you look. I heard about them. All right.
Yeah, it's a big line.
All right.
Back in the 80s, which never happened, sadly.
I know. It should have been electrified. It should have,
Yeah, GE made all those E60s for Amtrak to beat the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
But let me just say this. The railroad strike, they have came to agreement by giving another couple of months, and we'll be seeing another railroad strike, coming up.
Yeah, I don't see them all giving their workers increased wages and stuff like that, and improving working conditions.
I know, and that what the unions were fighting for. They were fighting for better working conditions and livable wages.
I've heard from all that too, but working conditions. I've heard from all the freight engineers. I know all the cabs don't have working AC or heat, so they get either really hot or really cold, and the cabs is very uncomfortable.
All right.
Take good care of you.
All right. Oh, speaking of that, the C40-8, that CXX.
Yeah,
I caught.
Hello?
I'm still here, man. I'm still here.
My internet's not great.
I understand. But you remember how CXX got rid of all their C40-8s?
Yeah, from Pan Am, I saw one the other day. I was up in Albany.
I know. What did the same one? Because I caught a C40-8 a couple, about 2 to 3 weeks ago on the 3rd. September 3rd, I caught one, And I did. Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, taking it over, my throat had that white crust in it, you know? I'm taking it over having a raw throat, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is that I was rail fanning on September 3rd. Me, my wife, and a friend of ours, we all three rail fanning. And we did not even know to be coming on M410 would go all the way up to Albany, New York from Waycross, Georgia, would come along the CSXA line.
No, I usually see M434 over there because it's in the afternoon.
Oh, nice. But Val's at the door. I'm sorry.
No, all good. I was just saying I don't have my freight things down very well because they changed them all after all the M trains came and all the I trains, and they changed it again with the Pan Am things coming. So,
I know.
I usually go over there like noontime to go see them. That's when they usually come back.
I know for a fact that the M trains are manifest. It used to been a Q, now the M, and the I stand for intermodal.
Yeah, I's intermodal, and then I'll occasionally get some Union Pacific engines up here on their own trains with oil.
I know, but here's something you're going to laugh about. M410 would carry the first rebuild C40-8.
Cool.
And you know the one that was from that magazine article?
Yeah.
I caught that one. Like literally, I caught that one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the number of it because you might have caught it too, you know? Because that thing.
No, I've been over there since early on.
Well,
I've only been looking at Amtrak and Metro North.
Well, the C40-8 I caught was one of the complete rebuilds, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that I was shocked because I did not even know that was coming, you know, until I seen it. Like,
I'm sorry, my dad texted me to stop yelling, and he thought it was me, and it was the neighbors.
oh, dude,
Sorry. I was a little distracted there.
That's funny, you know. But yeah, look at the meme I'm about to send you. You know, like read the meme, like read it. It's funny.
Alright, looking.
I just
seen that.
You already seen the meme?
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram.
Oh. Oh, and speaking of that did you watch Dimitri live stream last week?
No, I watched a little bit of it, but I had to go.
Oh, you know the rounds where everybody talks in? I'll be honest, I was the first one in.
You were talking.
Yeah, dude.
That was the part I saw.
You should have seen some of the memes that I pulled up in that live stream. I came into that live stream like a Chad. Like, if you got halfway through when we started inviting people in, I started making memes. Like, literally. Like, I actually snuck one in, and Dimitri was not looking, and when he seen it, he busted out laughing and started showing it off. It was one talking about the flying cars, you know? Like, I'll be honest, I do not agree with flying car because there are so many negative and so.
Flying car can never really exist. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I hate saying it, if flying car did exist, we got to worry about mini 9/11s happening left and right with cars crashing in buildings on purpose.
But yeah, there was some kid tried doing that in Florida and he failed miserably. The person that died was him.
But yeah, and to think about it, if you think about it in reality, if flying car, like if it were real, break down in midair, you'll be having a flying car laying right on you, flattening you like a pancake, you know?
Yeah, you're going to need a parachute if you're up there.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's so many negative inside the whole flying car thing. It's so dumb.
Are you going, sorry to get off topic, are you going on the Bright Line opening when they go to Orlando? They're supposed to open this winter.
I won't be able to go, But me and my wife 1 year, I mean not 1 year, but 2 year anniversary coming up on November 22nd.
Cool.
But dude, are you looking forward to the shitstorm that is about to happen late November and December when Brightline opened the extension up to Orlando?
Well, I'm gonna try to get down there. If worst comes to worst, I'll be over there in spring. I'm going down to Florida for a cruise.
All right. Let me tell you, the airlines are pissing their pants right now. They are straight up.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, if I was a person, pre-Brightline, I would much rather take the plane than drive. Yeah, those are really the only two ways you can get down there.
But now, when Brightline open up later on in next 2 months, because only 2 months to go, they're at least 90% complete. 90.
I do kind of believe that, but I kind of don't believe it because I guess 90. But at this point, if they were 90 back then, they should be testing trains on the extension right now. They haven't even finished yet.
Well, ironically, they did hit 90% complete today.
Today? Okay, yeah, that would make more sense. I thought that was a while ago. Oh, that was 80%.
They hit 90% today.
I think they're gonna open January because they still have to lay ballots and everything, and they'd have to have all of their contractors coming and do that.
Well, they're already weighing ballots already, like the extension to Miami.
I know they're putting it down, but they need to dampen it and stuff like that. I watch Roman. He hasn't posted a video in a few days. I watch Roman Railfan every time he posts a video.
Well, they made a lot of progress, and they're actually ahead of schedule, you know?
Yeah, which means Brightline West will open sooner, because they said once the Orlando extension's done, they're going to straight focus on Brightline West.
Now, here, Dane, I'm keeping an eye on Texas. It's up in Texas.
Texas Central, I think, will be complete first, because they went through a lot of shit, and they overcame it really well, and now they have grants, and I wouldn't say grants, but they have whatever bills they needed to sign or whatever the hell, build track and all the environmental shit.
Now, here, Dane, Texas Central.
I'm sorry, you're on YouTube. I don't want to keep them monetized.
I know. Texas Central been real quiet. They've been real quiet for about 2 months, you know?
They have, but I'd say Brightline West is too, and they got land. They really purchased land, so that was a little while ago. I
know, and Jane, I guarantee, even though they're quiet, Dimitri thinks something bad happened, but you know,
it's possible.
But I have my gut is telling me that they went quiet because they got something big playing, you know.
Oh well, no, because they don't want the stupid. Okay, well, I wouldn't say all Texans are stupid, but the stupid NIMBY Texans that I don't want a high-speed rail on my several acre farm.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal. You sell the land to them and you can make money. So it's just them. They're protesting, so they probably don't want to say anything because we're making huge progress. They're going to get a bunch of backlash from them, and it's like it'll be annoying.
I know. And here's the thing: the suburbanites. Now you don't forget about the suburbanites are total retards.
Suburbs, and I have an abandoned rail line near me that used to run huge Conrail trains back in the 90s. It had its farewell back in 2007, which is when I was born. I'm 15. So I graduated, or not graduated, when I was born. So I never got to see any trains on it. They ran one in 2013 and delivered some rail cars to the K9 facility because they trained K9 dogs near me at one of the prisons. And I didn't even get to see that because I was at school.
Oof. You know, a line like that would be good for commuter rail, you know?
No, so you know that pop-up metro thing with the old British underground cars? They changed the battery things. They're planning. Okay, well, there's two things. They're planning that, and the Indian Point nuclear power plant shut down a few years ago near me, which I think is dumb, but I mean, I guess it's kind of in like a residential area. I think a nuclear power plant in a residential area is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to get their waste out of there somehow. CSX won't take it, and Metro North won't take it, so they can't do it on the River Line or the Hudson Line. So they're the only way to get it, they can't do it by highway. So they either have to take it by boat, which I don't think will go great, or they open back up the line near me and they take it over to the Atlantic over the Maybrook. And that's how they get it. I'm really hoping that happens, so they start running trains on there again. Because the Housatonic Railway also wants to run freight on there.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think that would be good for freight because I looked at that area and that thing had potential to bring back rail service.
No, it doesn't. And I know if you guys in the Housatonic, they have transformers for the power company to deliver. They have a bunch of other stuff. There's a bunch of industrial, well, I would say industrial, but locals around here that they could definitely deliver like wood to or whatever.
I know,
There's
like,
a lumber place right near me.
there's so much business right there that they could rebuild the line and use it, but
Well, they signed an agreement with Metro North to keep it in operating condition to at least 10 miles an hour trackage, and they haven't done that, and they voided it, and Metro North wants to rip it up to replace it with a rail trail.
oh,
Which
good.
they have, to some extent, have done. It originally was 2-track, which is insane. Then Conrail decided it would be better to run it 1 track, and then it completely closed down. And then there's a rail trail where the 2nd track was before they removed the first one.
Oh my god, dude, rail trails.
I've ridden down it on my bike, and it's such a beautiful railway, and that shame is closed. And then over in the town near me for a park, they paved over the track, which is a no-no because they have to reopen it.
And here, Jane, I'm not trying to hate on people who like rail trails, but rail trails are boondoggles. They're scams. Only
the old people use it. I've been on that with my friend. Maybe I'll see like 4 other kids, and besides that, it's a bunch of old people.
Exactly. What Jane is that here, Jane, I found out every place that end up with a rail trail end up dying out. Like, and I mean everything. Like, I seen towns that had railroads go through them, like from the 80s and 90s, and when the line went abandoned, about 2 years later, some guy come in to build a rail trail, and next thing you know, the town did die off completely.
Well, there's this town near me called Hopewell Junction. There used to be a huge freight yard there, and it split up 3 ways. One went to Poughkeepsie, where there's a walkway there now because there was a huge fire on the bridge that was lit up on purpose by Penn Central. Because they didn't want the bridge because, they had the New Haven, they had the New York Central, and the Pennsylvania Railroad. And out of the 3, the New Haven's was the worst way to get to Chicago, so they wanted to get rid of that. The NTB didn't want them to have that. So they tried getting it. They wouldn't allow it. So, what if we burned down the bridge? They can't do anything then. That's exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way. That's completely a rail trail now. There's no tracks there. Then one goes down to Beacon, which is what Conrail used. That's entirely track, no rail trail. And then the section that goes over to Southeast, which is the Metro North Harlem line, the line that goes over there, that has 1 track and 1 rail trail next to it because that was double tracked.
Mm-hmm.
Which I use the rail trail quite often because it's a lot safer than going on the road, getting hit by a car.
I know, and they always talk about why our generation don't want to go outside. There are reasons. There are reasons why.
But like if I want to go to the gas station near me on my bike, I'm probably going to get hit by a car if I'm not super careful.
Exactly. Like everybody complain about why our generation and kids don't want to go outside right now. You need to look at it. It infected with cars, like not just bikes. Atlee explains it on his videos,
Oh, and then they'll make sidewalks, and they'll just randomly end at some useless point. Like there's one near me.
Oh my God, they're
crosses the intersection, goes past the self-storage area, and then just ends. And there's a huge plaza, like 500 feet down the road.
I know that happened here a lot here in my home city of Charleston, South Carolina. You ever been to Charleston?
I've been there a few times. I haven't gotten off the train though. Every time I've gotten on the train.
Oh, here, Tane, you might not know it, but in downtown Charleston, we used to have a Union Station up until 1971.
Cool.
And get what happened to it?
They broke it for a highway or some stupid car infrastructure.
It will piss you off because it corruption at its worst. Back this was a couple months after Amtrak. This was not 1971, 1972. In 1971, when Amtrak was formed, they were planning to do commuter rail service from Charleston down to Savannah and Charleston up to Columbia and Florence.
Oh, I've been to Savannah on the Palmetto.
Oh yeah, that train actually passed my house about 20 minutes ago.
Weirdest hours ever. It left Penn at like 6:15 in the morning and it got into Savannah at like 11 at night.
Dude, I actually see trains from my house. My house is right by the CSX Charleston side.
My house is right near the Hudson line, but between my house on the line, there's a road, a water treatment plant, and then a huge swamp, so I can't get down there very easily. And obviously, the house, my parents are divorced, have two different houses. The road here that goes to the train station, people fly down it at like 90.
Oh my
It's
god.
crazy. The speed limit's like 35, and they'll fly down it at 90. So I definitely cannot ride my bike down there because I'll definitely hit that car.
But here a thing that will piss you off that I would talk about. Back in 1972, the mayor of Charlton, the people who made, CARTA with the bus system here in Charleston, Greyhound, the people of Kiawah Island all got together. They hired someone to burn the building down to the ground by arson and then covered it up.
It's like that one airport in Chicago that the mayor wanted to get rid of, and they hired a team to destroy it, and they couldn't really do it, so they carved 3-foot deep X's on their runway so planes couldn't land.
I know, but what happened is that Amtrak was going to rebuild it, but the senator said, we got a better spot.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's like the original Penn Station. That station looked so nice, and they tear it down.
Like, oh, my wife is singing. She's singing beautifully. But let me just say this. You've been to Charlton before.
No. Well, again, I've only been through there on the train. I take the silver service trains a lot.
All right, here.
Before COVID.
And here, Jane, the train PO89, PO90, the Silver Star are all them job in North Charlton at the North Charlton train station. And Jane is that Jane in a plate in a terrible, and I mean terrible area.
I've gotten off there before, but I wouldn't really count that as me being in Charleston. I stepped on the platform, but yes, I do remember that.
Like literally, you got a rail yard around the curb, you got a diamond around the curb, you got another diamond down the track. We got a fucking gauntlet right there. You got to get through if you're a passenger train,
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, that a better spot? No, it ain't, because that one of the most ghetto area in Charleston. Danger area right there,
Yeah, I remember seeing that. The thing that pisses me off about that line, so before COVID, I rode the Silver Star and Silver Meteor a lot on that route.
Mm-hmm.
Post-COVID, back last year in like December, I was on the Palmetto, and there were so many straight sections of track that Amtrak had totally leased from CSX to electrify it, which they could because they run so many trains a day down there.
Mm-hmm.
And higher speed, make faster services. And I think a lot more people take the train. Hey, I can get to Washington in like 2 hours instead of like 4.
And
I wouldn't say that drastic difference, but something like that.
And here's the thing: the train's on the line here, on the line right by my house. Amtrak hit 95 miles per hour on the line right by my house.
They do?
Yes.
They have access or whatever system they have?
Well, it's CXX owned, but the passenger train, they speed around that line. Then the freight train, they go about 70 to 80 miles per hour. Like literally.
I don't remember that.
Well,
I had like a speedometer thing on my computer showed as fast as we were going. I remember we hit 80 a few times.
Well, right here on the area I live on, the trains right here do hit pretty damn fast speed because once you get past Johns Island where the track curve, once you get past that, it all away straight up to Yemassee, South Carolina, which is very straight.
I didn't know. I thought once you're south of DC, you don't get higher than 79.
No, it do get faster down here. It did that, the dress from, once you get out of downtown, or not downtown Charlton, North Charlton, into West Avenue, and once you hit the Johns Island spot where the track curved, once you hit that curve, it is straight shot to Yemassee, South Carolina. Like the train can hit about 80 to 90, maybe even 95 miles per hour.
I know they hit 80. I didn't know 90 because they needed. The problem with the U.S. rail system is they can't go faster than 79 unless there's a system pre-installed. So the Southwest Chief Santa Fe had a signaling system, so they could hit 90 and then they could probably go faster, but the superliners are limited to 90.
Mm-hmm.
And the line by me, New York Central, had a system. So the most of Metro North is 80 because it does 80 instead of 79 because they have excess. It maintains 80, and then once you get north of Poughkeepsie, you get 90, 95, and then right between Hudson and Albany, you can get up to 110, and Albany to Schenectady is 110. There's a little section past Schenectady that's 105.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all of the New York Central system that had that system, and then obviously the Pennsylvania Railroad had all that. They could do 150 down in Princeton Junction, all that. And then Amtrak had their own, whatever, all that signaling systems. It's required to go up 79 miles an hour, which is annoying. And then, some engines can't run here and can't run there because they don't have the specific signaling system that they have.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, down by you, I think every heritage unit can run, but up by me, like the Phase 2 one can't lead, the Phase 1 can't lead, the Phase 3, the Phase 6, the Midnight Blue 46, all of them can lead, and the Phase 4 one cannot lead because they don't have the signaling system that CSX uses.
And here's something crazy. You remember when I was talking to you about rail trails earlier? And about how they're a boondoggle and a cancer?
Mm-hmm.
Right where the Johns Island section is, only a small area because it's not on the island itself. It's only right there, right along the county line between Johns Island and West Ashley.
Yeah.
The line needs to split right there with a little small rail line called the Krogan Branch. It was an industrial railroad line that was owned by the Seaboard Airline back in the day, all the way up until 1982. It was 2 years before CSX was formed.
And my grandpa rode the Seaboard system once. He was telling me about that.
Mm-hmm. And Jane, is it that this line, literally, we went all the way up until right before downtown Toronto, and it stopped right before it got to the river, Yeah. And whole thing is that the area could have been used for commuter rail, like a pop-up commuter rail system.
Mm-hmm.
But it was abandoned in 1982, and in the 1990s, they tore up all the tracks in the 1990s, and then by the late 2000s, it was a dirt road, and then around 2010, 2012, they started turning it into a biking and walking trail, which was stupid.
Oh my God, so many railways back in the late 80s to early 2000s just got destroyed. Abandoned, and then all of them pretty much now are rail trails.
I know it's stupid because here's the thing, not that many people walk that trail. Because
it's only the boomers because convenience them. That they get
not just that, the trail, a lot of people get stabbed on the trail and robbed.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Mine's up near Poughkeepsie, which is like a really some of Poughkeepsie is nice, but other parts are very good, and even very very minimal crimes happen there because there's usually a lot of people up there in the city because that's the only really the city is walkable, but that's the only place you can walk without car passing or whatever.
I know, and we need more walkable, bikeable, and transit-oriented city, not cities built around cars. Good God!
Even smaller villages around me are getting a lot of sidewalks that make sense, and it's been happening very recently too. It hasn't been this ongoing process. Like as of last year, it started.
I know because people in our generation are getting sick and tired of car-built infrastructure, car-built suburbia. Like our generation our generations are getting sick and tired of, like the millennial, the Zoomers. We are getting sick and tired of car-built infrastructure. We're tired of it. We're tired of it getting crammed into our face, and we're tired of having family members to say, "You need to learn how to drive to live." Oh my God, people.
Driving's fun. I don't dislike driving, but it shouldn't be how I get to school/work every day.
Like, and if we had more walkability and bikeability and better transit, we would never have to ride a school bus. We would never have to worry about parents taking us to school. Am I right?
You're right. No, if I was back in the 90s, I wouldn't say I could technically take the train to school, but behind my neighborhood, there was a chunk of the tracks, and the station wasn't too far from it. And went south and then west towards Beacon, and there was a little branch line to go to this IBM plant. And I could technically take the train to school if we still had that service and that pop-up metro happened.
I know.
The branch got removed, so that track's not there anymore.
Now, Now, here, Jane, you remember when I was talking about commuter rail here in Charlton and how we lost it back in 1960 and when we lost our commuter rail system? And here, funny, Jane, that was a fucking spit to our face because Charlton is where Patent Rail began. Charlton, South Carolina, where Patent Rail began in the U.S. And not a that is a. Sorry, man. You could say.
No. Are you sure I have like a really bad problem like interrupting people?
No, I have a bad habit of doing when people try to say something. You could say something, man.
So near me, I have bi-hourly commuter service, which isn't great, but it's a lot better than the rest of the U.S. But the problem with the MTA, it's based around going to New York City. See, after the Maybrook got removed. I can take a train from where I am all the way over to like New Haven, Connecticut, without going down to Grand Central and taking a different train. But now you have to do that, so that's transit just oriented for the city. Which I mean, I guess the suburbs aren't great, but I live near a medium size.
I know, but it all the consequence of the suburbs. You know, like the suburbs. Like I had a friend who said we need to just get rid of the suburbs to burn them down. You know, because Suburbs make sense in a way, but not, up here in the Northeast, our suburbs are not as car-centric as some you would find in Texas, where there's literally copy-paste homes one after another for hundreds of square feet. I get. Oh my God, it's terrible here. It's terrible here in Charleston. Like here in Charleston, like James Island and Johns Island, are not far from me. I've been to both of those islands. I used to live on Johns Island, and the suburbs there are terrible.
Oh yeah, I've been to Texas, and I was like, what? Because up here, a lot of the houses are different. The suburbs are actually already you could walk around. Alan
Fisher did a thing on good and bad suburbs. You remember his video?
No, and I've actually went to that little town you mentioned in New Jersey where it's very walkable, and it was actually pretty nice.
Yeah,
mostly up here in the Northeast, the suburbs are just really nice. You can walk around in them, especially like Philadelphia area. Those suburbs are beautiful. But as soon as you cross, I'd say south of Washington D.C., they're just awful.
I know, and that saying downtown Charlton is still very walkable. You can bike and ride down in downtown Charlton, but the problem is that you don't have good transit. Like transit, the buses you got to wait for an hour. You know.
Oh yeah, I got buses to my job. They're literally every 3 hours. I one at 5 in the morning, and then the next is at 8 or something. And I have to be working at 7:30.
But here, Jane, I live in a small town on the outskirts of Charlton called Ravenel, and we only get one bus in the morning and one in the afternoon. Yeah, that's terrible, you know. Like literally, in a bus called County Link. It called County Link. It's a bus service that come out to the small towns and stuff that are out from the city, and we usually, me and my wife, when we are headed to our group, because me and my wife, we're both autistic. Me and my wife are both autistic.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And the thing is that we walk down to train depot from our house with only a 10-minute walk. Like we can walk from the house to the train depot, and we get on the bus there. And it usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes to get from here to the mall. And then we transfer over to Carter with the big bus system of downtown Charlton to head to downtown Charleston. And after we get done with downtown Charlton, we got to get a bus around 1 or 2. If we miss the 1 o'clock bus, we got to get the 2 o'clock bus. And we try to make it down to the mall again. And by the time we get there, we got to wait until around 3:45 to take the bus back down to Ravenel, you know?
Yeah. It's similar to my things. Buses are just not common. The buses in my area are literally based around Metro North. They all go to either the Beacon train station or the Poughkeepsie train station.
And here's Jane. We used to have a, interurban railroad, an electrified interurban railroad that came from downtown Charlton and terminated right in Hollywood, South Carolina, at a lumber mill.
The closest electrics to me are one's on the Hudson line. It ends in Croton, Harmon, because that's just north. I think that's as far north as the New York Central Electrified. I could be wrong. It might have been.
I know. Well, all the electrification, all the streetcar we had in interurban, they were all gone by the 1950s, like mid 50s. You know.
Yeah.
Like we lost all of it by then, and it's a disgrace because all we have now is a stupid. Uh-oh. Oh, what?
My phone cut out.
Oh, that happened. But now we have something that is not even superior, that is less than, you know? I talked to people who were born here in Ravenel back in the 20s, and they told me that Ravenel was way better back then because you would able to take a train or a streetcar to downtown Taunton with no problem.
That's nice.
And they said it was all gone by the 1950s, you know?
Well, yeah, that's when the major, highway decks took place. So it's 40s to 60s, 50s, just the general, midpoint of it.
I know. You remember when Dimitri talked about what really happened to the railroads here in the U.S.? You remember when he did a video about it?
I'm not sure exactly. I know the one you're talking about, but I know he's made a little bit of a few of them.
Yeah, all right. The video I'm talking about what really happened. It was not the airline or the car that almost killed Patton Rail in the U.S.
It was the government.
Exactly. And all that money that would have been going to commuter rail and Patton Rail here in the U.S. would taken forthwith from the railroad and given to their competition and made tax-free. That right.
Yeah, remember the huge railway electrification plan back in, what was that, the 50s or 60s?
70. It was 70s.
All this money and then, it never happened.
It was the 70, not the 60. It was 70 because of the oil crisis.
That's when the 60s came out, because those are kind of like a mistake, because GE was like, all these railroads are gonna electrify. We're gonna make millions off of these, and then no one did it.
And that because the oil company started freaking out, and the oil company they talked to GM and all of them, and they made a deal, and they said, all right, we're not doing it because we get more money from the oil company than anything,
Which I thought was weird because GM actually planned out a whole 6-axle electric locomotive to compete with GE.
I know.
And I thought that was very weird because they put money and research into that.
And Jane, the only thing that could have shot that is the big oil company paying them off to not do it. And let's be honest, that's the case right there. Heck, back in the 70s, they were talking about trying to bring back steam engines,
I'm not really into steam engines, so I can't say anything.
I know they were talking about bringing something like that back in the 1970s, but it never happened.
I could see how steam could work.
Because they were all due to the oil crisis. And with more oil crisis and stuff happening now.
Well, yeah, we're having an oil crisis now, and imagine we had all those railway electrifications. Our railways wouldn't be such a problem that they are right now.
Heck, and here, Jane, if we did not decide to build the interchange and instead invested in our railroad like Japan did, we could have had high-speed rail by now across the nation,
Yeah. Well, even high-speed rail across the nation. Don't get me wrong. I love high-speed trains.
Me too.
I'm actually going to go to France and see the TGVM once it starts testing it above 200 miles an hour. I love high-speed trains, but we should learn from Spain to not overbuild it, because Spain overbuilt it. Same with China, but China extremely overbuilt it, so it doesn't really count. Spain kind of overbuilt it. Now they're paying for it because some of their lines aren't being used.
And now here's Jane. Here in Taunton, we had an area that could have been used for high-speed rail, but they abandoned it back in 1982. And
the entire East Coast would make a bunch of sense for high-speed rail, because you got the Northeast, you got your area, Charleston, Savannah, all those big cities along the coast, and then you got all Florida, which could have been a more branched out system. And that would make complete sense for high-speed rail. Again, Midwest area, Chicago, out to all those bigger cities. And then the West Coast, and obviously Texas Central makes a lot of sense. I hope they do that line. I hope that's a huge success. I hope they make it to Austin and the other bigger cities.
Now here, Dane, the downfall of the airlines will begin in Florida. That's where the downfall will begin.
Well, all right, I would, if theoretically get a high-speed train from coast to coast, I would probably still rather fly, because it would still take such a long time to get to LA. But if I'm going like New York to Chicago, I would 100% take high-speed rail over a flight. Because don't get me wrong, it'd be a few hours longer, but I'd be a lot more comfortable.
And here, Dane, I'm talking about like small city. Like, do you know where the airline make their money from?
Oh, little city hops, like one of their busiest routes is okay, I wouldn't call it small cities, but like they'll fly out of like Oakland to an outer Los Angeles airport and still make a crap ton of money on
I know
route.
the short haul flights, like from Miami to Orlando, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why I'm saying they're going to be a shitstorm going to be happening later on November and December, because when Brightline...
Oh, hell yeah, that's going to start it, and then let's say Texas Central or Brightline, California's not going to open for a really long time because they get progress done, and then more shit just hits the fan.
I know.
Texas Central and Brightline West will lead to the downfall of short-haul airlines because they will head-to-head compete with the airlines, and it won't be close.
Now
I'm
here...
going to be on a train for an extra 30 minutes. Big deal. They serve better food. It's more comfortable. The scenery is a lot better.
Now,
take a train.
Now, here...
Can I finish?
Yeah, you can spin it. Sorry about that.
There's so many flights from, Houston to Dallas and Los Angeles to Las Vegas. There's so many flights today, and with that rail added, it's gonna. I know it's gonna cut a crap ton of road traffic and a decent amount of air traffic. That the airlines be like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? Especially the high-speed lines. Brightline is a great start, but I don't think it could directly compete with the airlines because the airline will be so much faster.
Here, Jane, like, did my talk to you? A flight from Miami to Orlando, even though it takes 30 minutes.
It's about 30 minutes, but we got in the air. It's probably an hour and 45, including airports and stuff, and delays and all that getting there.
We here, Jane, when you factor in all the stuff that you have to do, too, when you're going to the airport and at the airport itself, it actually come out to almost 4 to 5 hours, and most of the time it waiting at the airport.
If you could time it correctly, you could that'd be a good traveler. Not everyone's a great traveler. Know how airports work very good. I fly a lot, so I would know that. I'm not the greatest.
But I know.
If you time the airport right, you can probably get through in 2 hours the longest, an hour and 30 the shortest, and then your flight's 30 minutes. So let's just say the flight from Miami to Orlando's 2 hours total, all that stuff, getting the airport through the airport. That's still only an hour faster than the Brightline train, which isn't even truly high-speed rail, that's pretty impressive. But what is it, 3 hours and 15 from Miami to Orlando?
2 hours and 30 minutes. 2 hours and 30 minutes.
All right, well, let's just factor in FEC delays. 2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours. It's still only an hour, 45 minutes to an hour faster, which is pretty impressive.
Well, now here, Jane, the short haul flight from Miami to Palm Beach?
I didn't even know there was one of those.
Well,
that's just great at that point.
And now here, Jane, it completely killed it all. It already been killed off.
Yeah, no, Brightline will completely put that in the gutter. That would Brightline will penalize, especially if they get some speed upgrades in the suburbs, or people aren't running the crossings like a bunch of dumbos.
I know, and what happened when you build your infrastructure around cars, and suburbia?
Yeah, Brightline gets good grade separations. They could definitely increase a lot of the speed limits because most of the FEC is pretty straight track.
Now, here, Jane, I was talking to a friend who lived down in Florida who take flight from Miami to Orlando for work. He tell me he have to wait 2 hours even when he on time because you got to go through TSA.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. He probably flies a lot, so he knows he's doing the airport 2 hours. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll probably be there 3.5 to 4 hours.
I know, but when you factor in all time, because you got 2 hours on the ground, and before that, it take from downtown Orlando to the airport, and vice versa from Miami to Orlando, Miami to Miami International Airport. From Doji Chain, it takes about 20 to 30 minutes.
Well, even in Miami's. You could take Tri-Rail, but besides that, it's a pretty long drive out of the city.
Yeah, when you factor in the drives, we add into the 2 hours you gotta wait at the airport. That already 2 hours and 30 minutes. And if you count the 10 minutes at the plane it taking off from the airport to get above altitude, to flying altitude, that 10 minutes.
That's if you're lucky. I've been on a United flight. They fueled the plane too much, and we were sitting there for 45 minutes, full throttle on the taxiway, trying to get rid of fuel.
Mm-hmm. And Dana, when you factor all that and the 30-minute flight, and then another 10 minutes down, and then another about 15 minutes, and then another 30 minutes, you're looking at a total almost 5 hours, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and Brightline, because Brightline terminate in the downtown Miami was smart, you know, like that was a smart.
I'd say Brightline's Miami placement is a lot better than their Orlando placement because the airport is still a little outside of town. And
I know.
I really hope as soon as it opens, what is that, Sunrail that's in Orlando?
Mm-hmm.
If they start going straight to the airport, that could be a very good connection.
Now here, Gene, they're going to use the CSX line. They're going to double track that because
I thought they're getting rid of that switch that connects us. From the airport to the Brightline maintenance facility.
Yes, bingo.
That nuclear power plant, so
that where they're going.
They're ripping that switch out.
Yes, they're going to be ripping it out in 2 weeks from now. Actually.
Yeah, because they already got all the ballast down.
Yeah, a buddy of mine already told me because they already got the rail work done. They already had where the switch it all the way down to the airport done. So they're working from where to switch it all the way down to now where it connected to FCC at Coco. You know.
I don't control FCC, but I think that's a pretty dumb idea to take that switch out just in case. The switch between. What the hell's that switch? It goes from single track to double track. There's a huge switch, and it goes to double track. What if that's having problems and you need to redirect the train? That CSX sub would be great for doing that, but that's just me.
I know, but here, Jane, because even though the area from Coco to the airport is single track, they do have planned to double track it in the future, you know?
Oh, yeah, they double track proofed it, and even a few miles out of Orlando, it's double track, and I believe a little past that tunnel that we're talking Coco's be double tracked.
Mm-hmm. Because they already got it set up for the future. It was smart, but they should have,
Do they have a siding along the main line, like in the middle of the high speed section?
Nope.
Oh, I thought that would make a little bit of sense.
But Jane, this is where I'm going to say, because they're going to have to get lucky with this part, because moment that trains start picking up with more pattern, they're going to have to automatically double track it. Like, I guarantee.
You continue.
I guarantee a year after pattern rail start picking up in that area, they're going to we need to double track this. And
yeah, I'd say that's true.
Because it only going to take a year.
It won't be very hard to double track because they already have double track. They could literally slap a bridge in right now if they wanted to on the second track area and call it a day because they've made it that way. They have signals on both tracks. They're pretty much ready for it.
Now, the only area that I do have problem is where that one signal placement is, right where where it interchange with CSX. Because
but they're they could reuse that somewhere else.
I know, because they're probably going to have to remove that signal or move it to the other side because it on the side. Plus, some of the bridges they're going to have to widen the track bed because
No. The bridges they're literally built so they could slap another bridge in next to the current one.
I know. I'm talking about like the track bank. The bank that are going up to some of the bridges.
Oh yeah, that won't be very hard because they'll just add to the current thing.
I know. I can see right there because it is kind of smart, but you do got to factor in some other stuff too. Mm-hmm. But I do see it working, and I'm just waiting for the syndrome that are going to be happening soon.
No, and then they're also they're going to order more cars from Siemens because they plan to have 10-car trades.
I'm not even kidding. Like the airlines was so scared of it back almost about 5 to 6 years ago. Wanted the airline paying $1 million to an anti-rail group to try to stop it from happening.
Google the Elon Musk's Hyperloop was literally a scam to get rid of California high-speed
I
rail.
know, and we talked about that with Demetrius.
I can't believe I used to be like an Elon Musk kid. I used to like, oh, this guy's so cool. He's not. He's a billionaire tech bro who's really not that smart.
And here, Jane, the reason why
I wouldn't say he's not that smart. I just think he'll do anything to get himself money. Which I mean, yeah, how life works.
And here's the thing. The reason why he did Hyperloop was trying to get people to buy his Tesla more. What kind of evil?
Electric cars are so dumb, and I all the basic environmentalists think, oh my god, these electric cars are so good, I'm saving the environment. No, you're not. Lithium mining is the most environmentally damaging form of mining there is. You're still producing tires. You can't recycle your car battery because it's gonna run out in a few years. That's not gonna be as good. And as you're running, it's gonna start losing capacity day by day.
And here,
I mean, that's how your iPhone works. If you look at your battery health and settings, it probably says 90 or 80. It's not 100%.
and here, Jane,
That's just how batteries work.
And here, Jane, Alan Fisher did a video on why electric cars suck. You remember that video?
Yeah, I watch him too. I don't really agree with his political views, but he makes great videos.
Because stuff that he say it true, like everything he say it true, even about the small towns, you know?
No,
Like he say so much stuff that it actually true when you think about it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really want to get political, but I consider myself a Republican. But I just hate how all the other Republicans are so anti-train, and they think trains are a form of communism. It's so
They should be looking at themselves saying, maybe we are the communists because, one, cars are outwardly communists.
Well, communists can't really afford cars, so that system doesn't really work. But
I know, but here, Jane, if you're a communist or a dictator, you don't want people, talking to each other. You don't want them communicating.
No, I know. You keep people dumb to say to maintain power, but no, communist dictators are the most capitalist people in the world. Yes, they literally ruin entire countries to make themselves rich.
I know, and here the Jane, like, if you're a dictator or a communist, you don't want transit because the reason why is because people who don't like you can talk to our people on a moving train, a moving bus, any other type, and walking around. Am I right?
You're not wrong.
But in a car, who are they talking to? No one. They're technically in a metal cage. When you think about a car and you think about a metal cage, you start realizing how effed up cars are.
Yeah. Well, anything's a metal cage theory. Your house is a cage.
But here, Jane, like, we build our infrastructure around cars, and the parking lot are built hostile to make people don't feel comfortable.
It's disgusting. I've been to Houston, and literally half the city is just parking
lots.
Oh
my God.
You can keep those parking lots all you want. Just build buildings on top of them, or build transit or something.
I know.
It's so ugly.
Dude, I work at a Walmart. I'm what you call a cart associate at a Walmart.
No, the Walmart near me, it has this huge parking lot, and it's literally never full. Like, it's like less than half full unless it's like Black Friday.
Oh, same with
time of year.
Same with the Walmart I work at. Like, I'm the one who bring the buggies in. You know, the buggies that you grab when you buying stuff?
Yeah.
I'm the one who go out in the parking lot to, get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of guilty here. I work at a car detailing shop.
And that's the thing.
That's all that matters. Oh, my fell off again.
But Jane is that car infrastructure really suck. And Alan Fisher even talked about it, how car infrastructure is suicidal.
Oh, no, it is. And even cars nowadays, I work on cars. They're not even built that well. Like, if I'm working on an older car, I'd much rather work on an older car than a newer car. Yeah, they're less fuel efficient, whatever. The new cars are just not built very well. And all the new stupid car features, like, you can't have a button on your tailgate. You have to go to the driver's seat to open your tailgate. It's so mind-numbing.
I know, and it's dumb. Like, literally.
I know.
And
I want to be modern so much. Yes, let me have to go to my driver's seat to open up the fuel pump gate, the door.
and now here's the thing that I'm going to be on about. One thing is, if I ever get a vehicle, I do have a driver permit, and I am being forced to get my driver license. My mom is making me learn how to drive.
I mean, I'm excited to learn how to drive because that means I can go train spot it whenever I want.
I know, like, and the thing is that once I do get my driver license, I'm not getting a big vehicle. Fuck that.
I mean, I'm kind of guilty here because I like being an environmentalist, but cars are cars. You can't really do anything about it. I'm saving up for a truck because I like trucks.
Now here, I'm a truck person too, man. I am a truck person too, but I'll be on it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get a Japanese pickup truck. You know, the small ones?
Oh, yeah. If I was getting a Japanese pickup truck, I'd go with the Titan. Those are pretty big.
Like, literally, I would get one of the Toyota one. You know, the flat nose ones? Because, let's be honest.
Not a Tacoma. No, I think that's Toyota model. That's the bigger one, though. But yeah, I like some of those. I mean, I prefer American trucks, but if I had a second choice, it would definitely be Japanese trucks.
Because Japanese pickup trucks are, even though they're small, they're very reliable. Even much more reliable than a American truck. You know?
American gas trucks are not very reliable. American diesel trucks, dude. Those things are built on a different level. Those things will run until the earth ends.
I know. But my thing,
they get very rusty, so I have to take care of that.
But here, Jane, like my fur truck, it's gonna be, if I do get my fur vehicle, it's gonna be one of them Japanese pickup truck, you know, the small ones. Because
I want to be environmentally friendly, but cars in general are just not. So if you're gonna drive a car, I mean, I'm not saying drive your 1979 GMC pickup truck that's literally smoking, but I don't want to be driving around in a smart car because it's environmentally friendly, not to look dumb.
Thing is that I would rather go for a Japanese truck than an American truck.
Oh yeah, no, American trucks are horrible in miles per gallon, and I might reconsider my decisions because even though diesel's cheaper to make than gas, Biden's cranked up the prices on diesel.
And here's
mostly companies use them, and he wants state-owned companies. And people, it's fine with me, but I just want to get a different car.
And here's the Jane. My stepdad, he drive a big pickup truck, a Chevy one, and he spends about $80 to almost $100 every week filling that sucker up.
Oh yeah, these diesel's so expensive. Yeah, I'm planning to get I found this Ford F-350 I really like. And I don't really like F-150s because they're small. I don't know, and especially the newer ones because I want a V8 now. You're gonna get a truck. This will be good.
You know the ones from the 2000s? You know the small.
No.
My mom had one of the old Fords from the 2000s, the small pickup truck ones.
Ranger?
Yeah, you know the small ones.
Yeah.
And that thing, Jane, you for $30 fill it up half a gallon, and for a full gallon you got to fill it up to 60 for a full gallon, or like a full tank of gas.
You mean a full tank?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, what?
For a full tank of gas, you got to literally fucking fill that sucker up with $60.
Oh yeah, I know. Again, diesel doesn't go down.
And here, Jane, my mom 2010 Chevy Cobalt. All you have to have is $20 to $30 to fill that thing fully up, and that thing to go from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way up to not Columbia, but Charlotte and Winston-Salem, North Carolina, up in the mountains.
Yeah.
On a full tank of gas. Oop, he cut out again.
But it's not low power. I'm on my phone. My computer's not working right now.
I know. I'm out using a tablet to talk to you on live stream, bud. The thing is that my mom Chevy Cobalt actually save on more gas than the trucks do, and did one of the Chevy Cobalts. Here we go again. 1 minute ago. But
is it yours?
It is Chevy Cobalt. You know what a Chevy Cobalt is?
You cut out. My phone keeps going wonky.
I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is 1 minute. His phone keep cutting out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It might be yours. My if it goes off speaker, I can't hear you. And I have full volume.
All right.
But yeah, continue.
The Chevy Cobalt. Do you know what a Chevy Cobalt is?
Yeah, my friend's dad has one.
My mom. Sorry. 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, you back?
Hold up. Oh, shit. Oh, my phone. No, it's not. All right. Is it you?
Oh, let me call you back. Let me call you back and try it again. Wait right here.
Got it.
All right, we'll try it again. I'm in another call with a friend right now. I'll call you in a few minutes. All right. All right. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. My mom first new car with a Chevy Cobalt, and it was back in 2010.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we had that car for over a decade now, but we got to replace the engine in it, you know?
Yeah, are you going to replace it or rebuild it?
My mom and them are thinking about rebuilding it, but we need the money, you know?
All right.
Hey, you know Brightline fan?
Yeah.
Well, what invite him into the call, you know, because he is a
I
friend.
don't have him added. Can you do that? I don't have him added. Can you do that?
All right. I'm going to add him.
Got it.
But I'll be honest.
He's been on call for an hour. Jeez.
Oh, wow. I just noted. But I'll be honest on it.
Who's watching the stream?
About 4 people and one of my wife.
Oh, cool. All right.
Because she usually watches it because she is an admin and make it so her trolls don't fuck around with me.
Oh, well, just don't pay attention to them.
Oh, come on. Ugh. One thing about tablets is they act a little glitchy. Okay.
I have my tablet for long.
I actually have my tablet because I have a camera that I send my photos to where I can upload them to Facebook and other places, you know, for rail fanning.
I post on Instagram.
Hey, same with me. I have Instagram too. You can follow me on there.
Here. What's your give me a second. I have to open it.
All right.
Yeah. What's your at?
All right. Let me go to my Instagram and I will tell you.
All right.
But I'll be honest, like we need to invest in rail infrastructure. And I need to tell you this because I was trying to tell you this earlier about how we used to have commuter rail up until the 1960s.
Oh, there's commuter rail everywhere. The Metro North ran like a 2.5-hour service from New York City up to Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It was one train a day. But that is impressive. Or it was Penn Central, but that's impressive for a commuter train.
I know. All right, 1 minute.
They tore all the track up.
All right. Let me check my profile. It's David Mitchell in my profile.
David, that's not David or Mitchell.
I'm wearing glasses.
New Jersey, one of my friends is following you. You have a lot of followers. Jeez.
Yeah, I have over 1,106.
Yeah.
I'm at 36.
I'm Spike Real Photos.
All right.
I just followed you.
All right. Well, I'm going to follow you too, man. You hear me? 1 minute. But I'll be honest on it. Like, did something that I was going to talk to you about around 2017, 2018. They were talking about doing commuter rail from downtown Toronto to Somerville, and with 27 miles.
Yeah.
And what happened is it got shot down saying we could do it with commuter buses, you know, rapid bus transit. It's stupid because rapid bus transit is terrible.
Yeah.
thing is that we already have railroad tracks from downtown Toronto to Somerville that they could use, you know? So instead of doing that, they said, oh, that, and then after that, they just cut down and said, oh, we could do a county link, but, you know, like a regional bus. They instead went with a regional bus,
Like Greyhound.
not Greyhound, but you know,
I said like Greyhound.
it's like Greyhound, but it's more of a commuter bus.
Oh, all right.
It a mix between a commuter bus and, you know, Greyhound, you know?
Oh, like mega bus. I'm not a huge bus enthusiast. My grandpa loves buses.
I'm not a bus fan, you know? I'm not a bus fan myself.
I try to like learn about them. Well, I don't know. That's not my thing.
But here, Gene, what I was talking about with the commuter rail, Gene, it got shot down by the bus company, you know? With corrupt on its own. You know?
Yeah.
Which was stupid, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that gets shut down. It completely makes sense. No cars.
I know, and that's
One more lane.
like, you know, the meme, the one more lane, bro. I swear we would fix it.
If you're gonna add one more lane, make it a dedicated bus lane or rapid transit lane, like buses, taxis, something like that. Like
I know, and that's insane. Like
trains cannot take you everywhere. It's not possible.
I know.
It would cost so much money. But reasonable places trains can take you. That makes complete sense.
I know, and the thing is that we keep on failing at that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we just want to build for the car.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're not wrong. I'm going to Germany in spring. I'm really excited to go see some high-speed electric trains.
I know, and that's the thing, like, my grandma is German, you know?
Hmm?
My grandma is German.
You go there?
No, she lived here in the U.S. About 30 minutes from where I live, you know?
You should try to ask her to come back there sometime to check out the trains.
Well, my grandma have not been to Germany since before the Berlin fell, you know?
Oh, that's been a while.
Yeah, and she don't remember her German heritage because...
She was a kid when that happened.
Yeah, my grandma was born in 1949, 4 years after World War II ended.
Both my grandpas served in World War II.
Mm-hmm, well...
Great-grandpas.
Mm-hmm. Like, literally...
3 of them did.
I know, and thing is that it's crazy on how far we came, you know?
Well, honestly, World War II was terrible, but if it wasn't for World War II, we wouldn't have had so many technological advancements that happened. The V2 rocket, look, we went to the moon. The ME-262, look, we have some of the most advanced planes in the world because
I know.
The fighter jet was back in World War II, stuff like that. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And that thing that we should be paying attention to. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we're paying attention to stupid crap. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the news is flooded with bullcrap, but celebrity stuff is not important to any of us. And, like, the news doesn't cover anything important. Like, the rail strike, literally the night before, my mom was like, oh, come look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a rail strike. I'm like, Mom, I've known about this for, 6 months. Why has the news just told you about this? It's literally been going on for so long.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? Hey, I can invite you to a group call with Brightline Fan. Do you want me to do?
Yeah, works.
Hey, give me a few minutes because I'm going to invite you to my group page on Discord.
All right.
Be right back.
Got it.
All right, I'm going to do that real quick, and I'm going to invite him. I'm going to invite him and Brightline Fan for they can all talk. If y'all know what I mean. Because I'm going to invite him and some of the other guys. because it's something that I do think should be, should invite, if y'all know what I mean. Because I'll be on copy link because I'm going to add it to him. Here we go, because general. Because all right. Going to invite down. Hope that they get it. You got it, man? All right, that better. All right.
I need to turn my phone volume up. Okay, my phone's off. Sick.
All right, well, I just sent the link to Brightline Fan 2.
Hey, give me a second. My phone's acting up. Okay, where's it going to turn off? Okay.
I just sent him a invite to my Discord, so he should be coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah. But the thing is that we really screwed up,
Well, yeah, after Eisenhower and built the highway, it just went downhill from there.
I find Eisenhower one of our worst presidents because
he's easily one of my least favorite. On top of that, Japan was in no way good during World War II, but he committed so many I wouldn't say he committed, but he commanded so many war crimes.
Mm-hmm. There, Brightline Fan.
Hello.
Hey.
Yo, what's up?
Doing good, man. Me and him were just talking, and I got everything set up, but me and him were just talking about Eisenhower and how he was one of our worst presidents. Am I right?
Oh, yes. I think you were talking about the highway, the Interstate Act.
Yeah. Because, all that money that came from the Highway Act came from the railroads.
I see. The railroad was generating so much money, and during World War II, it was transporting so many supplies.
Mm-hmm. And
I see.
And the thing is, it because the railroad was heavily restricted back in the 50s and 60s, because all the restricting back in the 50s and 60s, and with the money being taken from the railroad, given to their competition, it really screwed everything up and almost killed Patton Rail. Heck, it was one of the reasons why Amtrak was formed. Am I right?
Man, that was for a 30-year period.
And then, if you did think about Conrail will form because of the same reason too, because of all the restricting against the freight railroads,
As much as I like Conrail, they were one of the worst freight railways.
Yeah,
They did so many dumb things.
I know, Conrail had so much potential and they threw it away,
Yeah.
Literally, they had the most electrified system after the Milwaukee Road, and they threw it away and ended it in the 1980s,
And all the poles are still there. I'll drive through Newark, and there's just random catenary poles. I'm like, oh, is that the Northeast Corridor? No, it's CSX.
And that's the thing. And I understand why the thing that I still don't agree with what Milwaukee Road did back in 1980 when they tore up all the track from their electrified Montana.
I'll give them that one. Their route was kind of really brain dead. I don't know why they did it like that. It did not pass any useful places on its way to Seattle.
I know, but it was a pretty good route because a lot of people are saying that it was much better than the BNSF route,
Oh, that wasn't BNSF, then it was BN, and it was Burlington Northern, but even that was better. Great Northern had the best, and I'd probably go with Northern Pacific and BN. But Milwaukee Road was probably the quickest, but at the same time, it was the worst because it didn't really pass anything. Through running trains to Seattle would have been perfect. But not all trains are that. You have to stop along the way and drop goods off.
I know, but here, Jane, when I looked at the Montana route, route, there is one section that survived that was made for logging. Like, I understand the line was there for remotely for logging, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And thing is,
that's a big thing.
and thing is that when that interchange was built in the 1980, that what fucked it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that road is pretty deadly right there. The interchange that goes through through that killed off that line, it's very dangerous, you know? Like, I heard people, you know, getting trapped on landslide and trucks getting crushed by rocks on that road. Then one of the city that used to have partner rail to it, you know, the line that came off the electric sub from on the Montana sub, they had a branch line that went around to one of the bigger cities and then connected back up. And what happened right there, and the thing that I did said, you gotta be stupid kidding me, because that is a big city now. It's not a small town anymore. And the interstate go right through that area, you know? And there are a lot of areas that they screwed up on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason they got rid of it was because they did not want the Sioux line to have it, because, you know, they already seen that they were probably going to be bought up by the Sioux line in the next 4 years, which actually happened, you know? The Milwaukee Road was bought up by the Sioux line in 1984. And they seen it. It was.
Speaking well.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
My phone's cutting out again.
All right.
By the way, Brantley actually replied in my Instagram.
Ooh, what did they say, man?
They said that I was promising that I will ride with them soon.
Yeah.
And they replied, they can't wait.
I've only had 2 roads fun to me. Amtrak a few times, but it's just their basic automatic probably response to people saying, "Oh, cool, nice photo," and they don't actually like it. And I did one with SEPTA, and it wasn't even a SEPTA train. I think it was an Acela in the picture, and they commented like the photo and everything.
Mm-hmm. I know. Oh, but guy, let me just tell you, I seen why the Milwaukee Road abandoned the line, because they did not want the Sioux to have it, you know? Meaning,
Well, no, I get that.
because that right there was kind of petty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was petty in a way. And it was symbolic, you know? Because they did get rid of the route because of that reason, you know? I
think that was a big reason. Then again, the route didn't really go anywhere, so that was another big part of it.
But it also did connect it up to about 5-hour rail lines when it get into Idaho, you know?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't their rail lines. They just gave freight to other people, and then they ran to places.
I know, but I looked at the whole thing. There were a lot of rail system in the Midwest back in the day, but they're not that many now.
There's a lot. Amtrak uses a few of them.
I know, but
I mean that one route all the way from Chicago to Detroit is almost all 110 miles an hour.
I know.
What road was that? Was that Central or was that a different railway?
It was the Empire Builder route, you know?
No. It leaves Chicago and it goes north up through Michigan to Detroit.
Oh, the Riverine.
Yeah.
That all owned by Amtrak. That is owned by Amtrak. That's fully owned. Amtrak owned that route, and not CSX. Norfolk Southern, they have rights to run over it, but it Amtrak owned.
Well, yeah, that's the same on the route near me. The Amtrak's good for 110. They own it, but CSX runs one train at night on it to New York City garbage.
I know, and thing is that they're saying that we got to stop, letting Wall Street run the freight railroads,
Well, yeah, so Warren Buffett, I like how they were like, quote unquote, BNSF was the best and had literally the worst working conditions.
I know, and thing is, Warren Buffett, he needed to go to jail. That guy needed to go to jail.
What's your reasoning for that? I haven't really looked into him, but what's your reasoning?
because he corrupt. Like there's so many shit he did. Like I'm surprised that they did not count it up he did at a monopoly. You know,
Yeah.
like there.
Yeah, he looks like that ton of stuff, and usually it's the biggest. I guess railways are a duopoly because BNSF and Union Pacific are on the West Coast, and Norfolk Southern and CSX are on the East Coast.
And then you have CP and CP and CN up north.
I guess it's reasonable because Canada isn't as big, but yeah, BC Rail used to be a big player.
I know, and then they got bought out by CN.
And then they ripped out all the electrification.
I know, and here, funny thing, the line that you've been a part to have all been torn up and gone now.
What happened?
The line that you've been up there, all gone now. The electrified line was all torn up.
Oh, even the rail? I knew the electrification got removed. I didn't know they tore the actual track.
They did because it was mostly all coal. It was all coal. It was a coal line.
Oh, all right.
And that
it was like that road out in the desert that had the old Amtrak E60s. I was so mad. I was going to go there to see it, and then they shut down.
I know, but there is one more freight line that, even though it cut off from the national rail system, that it's still electrified, and it in.
It isn't cut off. It has interchange with Union Pacific.
Mm-hmm. You know, funny thing is, even though that they could have interchanged that, you know.
Yeah.
Jane is.
No, because the power plant shut down. So there's. Oh yeah, I guess they could have took the coal somewhere else.
I know. No reason they shut it down because of all that. But they could have had a connection to the outside world, and now. Now that they got approved for that line that is going through Utah to get up near Colorado, that could have happened, Mm-hmm. But, it's a little too late now. But, yeah, what were you going to say, man?
I was going to say most of the electrification that got ripped out was because of double stacks. Like, the biggest example is the Mexican National Railway. They ripped out all the electrification so they could run double stack trains.
Oh, God. Look who joined in.
Oh, I'm not looking.
He is from, the other group that, Dimitri, you've been a part of.
Is Kenny Cope.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It doesn't show me on my screen. My phone's frozen. That's probably what.
But let me just tell you this. There's only one electrified urban freight railroad in the U.S. left, and that in Iowa.
Yeah, and they don't even use real electric wire. They use trolley wire.
I know, and that's amazing. Like, if I ever get a chance, that one of the railroads that I want to go rail fan, Mm-hmm. Because the locomotives that they use are over 100 years old.
Well, yeah, they don't really have a replacement because no one's going to make locomotives with trolley wires.
Hey, if they
the trolley wire pantographs, they need to re-electrify the whole thing.
And Jane, the only way they can do that if they buy a European built locomotive.
Which is fine. I'm just mad how we used to be the leaders in electric locomotives and went straight to the bottom. To the bottom part.
Mm-hmm. And then Milwaukee had them very damn great electric locomotive, and then when they did the rebuild back in the 30 and 40, they ruined them. You remember that?
Yeah, but then they got the Little Joes, which are pretty cool.
I know. Funny thing about the Little Joe is that they were both to go to the Soviet Union.
Well, yeah, that's why they're called Little Joes.
Mm-hmm. And that was funny because they had to re-gauge them.
Oh, yeah, Russian gauge, yeah.
What happened? Like, it did crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, you saw Ukraine is going to after the war, they're going to redo all their trains in the standard gauge.
Yeah, they're going to read standard gauge everything to European train to make it harder on the Russians.
Well, yeah, because they're using Soviet gauge or whatever. Is it Soviet gauge or just Russian gauge?
No, it called Welsh gauge. It's from the Welsh, from Ireland. It's Irish gauge.
Yeah.
Welsh is very different from Irish.
Or it actually Welsh gauge, I meant. But That's what they use in India too. You know, they use Welsh gauge, what you see in Ireland. They use that in
Wales
India.
uses the same exact gauge as the UK, which is the standard gauge. Ireland
Yeah,
uses a
they
different
have
Ireland.
gauge.
different loading gauge.
Yes,
There's also narrow gauge as well.
I know.
There's hundreds of railroad gauges.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't say hundreds, but there is a lot of railroad gauges.
I know. And when you did think about it, it did blow your mind on how much there is out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot.
It doesn't really surprise me because of when there's no standardization, people will come up with their own ways to make stuff.
And
That's why you get so many different gauges.
then you have some region with a because of our country. Like I knew the reason why the French, or not the French, but Spain did their gauge differently because they did not want the French to invade them. You know.
No, the actual reason was because they were a very mountainous country. That's a massive misconception about their gauge. Plus, they probably were building their own gauge separate from France. So
I know.
And their whole high speed network is standard gauge.
Mm-hmm. But I know the freight network in narrow gauge. You know.
Oh, it's Iberian gauge.
I never knew that, huh? Iberian.
It's wider than normal gauge.
yeah, Spain and Portugal have their own unique gauge.
It's very wide. My dad rode a Talgo on it. He said it was one of the smoothest trains he's ever been on.
I know some of the old Talgo sets are going to an African country.
Nigeria.
Yeah, again, that's crazy, you know?
Yeah, that was a very weird option for the old Talgos to go, but whatever works.
Well, I don't think so, considering that there's both incentive by both China and the United States to try and develop these places. That doesn't really surprise me one bit.
I guess the U.S. is selling them, but it has nothing to do with the U.S. railway.
I know. Oy.
Well, at least I don't think. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
And here's something else. I know for a fact Ukraine is winning. Like, have you guys been keeping track of that?
I think everyone's been keeping track of that.
I've been watching videos of it.
Like,
I'm driving a German train right now. I'm trying simulator, so kind of like distracted.
You're talking about Train Sim World 3.
Yeah.
Dude, you know some of the American routes that they should add some short line railroads, you know?
Bro, there's like 5 routes they could add Amtrak trains to.
I know. You know, there a route up in Massachusetts in a Class 3 short line that would be very good for Train Sim World, you know?
There's train in the forums. They're asking people what improvements they can make, and people would just say random ass routes that don't make any sense.
Well,
probably because it's their local route. And they
my local route, which I guess would make a ton of sense because they have the Harlem line, so the Hudson line would make too much sense. But it's a very busy route, so it would make a lot of sense. But like people, my Billy Bob Joe Class 3 near me should be on Train Sim World. No.
Well, sir.
Great for you, but no one else cares.
Well,
local route would be incredibly boring.
What is it?
Well,
it's a BNSF line that runs through Minnesota.
I live on the Hudson line with Amtrak's like second or third busiest route, and then the River line just for CSX is one of their busiest lines across the river.
Now here's something.
They need a New Jersey transit route. I don't know how they've not come out with one yet. And the reason they haven't added the old Northeast Corridor route is because it isn't built the same as the other routes.
Well, do they have the New Jersey section of the Northeast Corridor?
No. So again, the reason they didn't add that. So when they originally made the original 3 routes, which was the Great Western, the NEC, what was the German route? I think it was the main Sebsarbahn. No, was it Rapid Transit?
It was a Rapid Transit route in the first game. Plus they had Sandpath Grade. If you remember, Sandpath Grade was one of them.
That wasn't one of the originals though. This is like really early in the game's development. So they made the Rapid Transit and the Great Western the same like make style. and then the NEC with the New Jersey section, which I'm kind of mad because I bought the route and the Metroliner cab car out, which is like another $20. They didn't add that to Trains World 2 because it was built completely differently than the other two routes, and they give the building the way the other two routes better. I looked up in the forums because I was super mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be easier to remake the whole route on a different platform than transport the other one to the new game. So they just haven't done it.
I know it's probably going to take them a while. Heck, and the Oakville sub.
I don't think they're gonna do it. And if they are gonna do it, they're gonna make it probably New York to Trent, which I would love.
You gotta remember the Oakville sub from Train Sim World 2.
I remember running garbage trains. No, it was the original one.
I know, like,
Oakville.
yeah,
the CN one. I don't have that one.
dude, that route had so much potential and they fucked it up.
What did they do with it? I didn't buy it because I saw it had shitty reviews.
They forgot they were planning to add Go Transit and they decided not to. Because
Well, no, here I have. Okay, what does that have?
That's what the outrage is about.
yep.
What?
Because
That was it. I thought they fucked the route up or something. And
No.
they messed a bunch of shit up. That's
Fucking foamers.
Yes. Oh my god. No, I was bitching out before. So here, I don't own every route in the game because I don't really like British rail. I love the Class 66 and the higher speed stuff. So I'm Great Western. I have Southeastern high speed, but besides I don't need British things.
now the Oakville sub is still good if you like industrial switching. Because let not get wrong, it had some good switching because it had a lot of good switching opportunity where you was switching out customers and stuff with it pretty good,
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, they could have worked that in and added, on whack with them other trains because they should have added more onto that because that line had a lot of potential, but they did not, added that much in,
Yeah.
But they
I was just looking through the routes. So technically, there's 6 routes that would have Amtrak trains on them before they could operate. So Horseshoe Curve, you obviously have the Pennsylvania, Long Island, Penn Station, obviously, Peninsula Corridor that Amtrak goes through San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Patch Grade, you have the Capital Limited, Sherman Hill, which you're going to be confused. I'm not sure if it was the Desert Wind or the Pioneer, it doesn't exist anymore. Amtrak trains used to run on that route.
Oh, they're bringing it back.
I'm probably not. And then
Was it the one from Idaho?
Yeah, sure.
Then it was probably the Pioneer because the Desert Winds went through Nevada.
That was Las Vegas. So yes, it was the Pioneer. The Pioneer used to run over Sherman's Hill. So that's one, and then Cohen Pass, you obviously have the Southwest Chief.
Well, I'm hearing that they're bringing it back because it's gonna be interesting, But all right, but I'll be honest, guys. This is where I'll be honest about like the Oakville sub had so much potential, and they did, instead of having everything to it, they did it half fast, Like
ever heard of something called crunch culture?
I know, and that's not good. Crunch culture need to end.
What happened? What I missed?
Still talking about the Oakville sub, man.
Oh.
Like, what are we? They could have added, like Go Transit, and heck, Amtrak even ran on that corridor,
Oh, yeah, the Maple Leaf, right?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't been on that since pre-COVID. I went on it just before COVID started.
And my point is, hear my point. When
that's 7 routes Amtrak could run on, unless I'm missing another one.
And don't forget the San Pat's grade, that was another one.
I said that the Capital runs on there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right,
Val,
yes,
let the dogs out.
7 routes Amtrak.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, obviously, the Boston spread, but there you have that.
But I'll be honest, the thing that I'll be honest about the CXX line, I do think it could the Sandpack grade, but no, they could
I
do.
don't like Sandpack's grade. It's just so slow. Which I guess I hate this route. It is so painful to operate. Here, what route It's the other Union Pacific one that's not Sherman Hill, Cane Creek. It is so painful. The whole route's 10 to 15 miles an hour, and it's like 12 miles.
Oh, someone there?
Oh, you're talking about Cane Creek.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dude, you know Jane about Cane Creek. They had so much potential with that too, and instead they decided to do it half pat and not add it the whole line. You know?
Yeah, I ran this route 8 times. What is wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
I only did it twice. Never mind. Hour and a half to do the whole route at 10 miles an hour.
And here, Jane, and now with the Rocky Mountaineer coming on, that they could have did that at DLC. You know?
Oh, that runs on that route.
Yep. The Cane Creek now get the Rocky Mountaineer.
Cool.
Like, it's crazy because they just started doing that at the beginning of the year. You know? And did the point when they were doing King's Creek, they should have did the whole line, like the main line that it came off of,
Yeah.
They could have done that.
The only other American route I don't own besides the Oakville sub is Clinchfield. Is that any good?
Oh, I heard that it's pretty good,
I might get it.
It's a good line, and it's set in the 70s and 80s, with old-fashioned locomotives.
Yeah, no, it has the F7 and the SD4. I don't know of any other routes coming out. I knew a German route got leaked, but I don't know if that's really my thing. It's slower diesel.
And now here, Jane, with the Cringefield, you can actually modernize it because the Cringefield is run by CXX now, so you can actually run modern CXX equipment on it.
Oh, you can, like HD44s and stuff?
Yep, because if you don't know it, but the Cringefield was bought by CXX back in the 80s when they were formed.
Oh, well, I know, but scheduled services, you could run HD44s.
Oh, yeah. Heck, I have a friend who lived on the old Cringefield software the line is based on.
No. In the game, if you buy the route and you look at, so for example, I go on Boston Sprinter and I run Regional 66. Can you do that with, modern CSX things on the Clinchfield?
Yep.
I'm going to buy it.
Like, literally, but you do have to have mods and stuff. Oh, God, Vela freaking out about NASCAR.
That's what I'm asking. I thought it just came included with the thing.
You can, but there are ways, because I have a friend on Facebook who do modern CXX trains on that route, too,
Oh, I can just do custom route and do that. All right, well, I don't know if I want it.
Heck, here, Jane, if you want to bring more realism, do custom,
I might get... Okay, I know as much as you said the Oakville shit. It kind of looks cool.
Mm-hmm. Because the Cranfield is a good route because you got a lot of stuff to do in it. Like, you got freight, you got coal. Like, heck, you got coal mines that you actually got to switch at, terminates at, and then interchange with 3-hour railroads. It's pretty good. It's actually a whole railroad line.
So, speaking about we were talking about CSX since a couple of hours. So, by the way, what's going on with the strikes?
Well, it's been...
Wasn't there a tentative kind of deal made
Yeah. About a day ago.
Things out?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the strike was diverted yesterday morning, right before the strike was supposed to begin. Like hours before the strike was supposed to begin, they came to a terminate agreement.
Good.
But here, Jane, the thing is that they should have went on strike because let's be honest, on the working
they don't get
conditions,
good, working hours, it sucks.
and no, the working is not good anymore.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Then why'd you repeat it?
I'm sorry. It's a habit of mine. But I'll be honest. All stuff that is going on right now, we can blame on Wall Street,
Not everything, but most things.
It's pretty easy to blame Wall Street.
Because
it's kind of overdone at this point.
I know, but
it seems overly simplistic.
The
But-
bean counters at Wall Street always rig things up. They're bean counters.
And here's the thing: Wall Street. What happened when you let Wall Street run a railroad? You know.
But they've always run railroads. Like, even back before the Panic of 1873, which was like literally over a century ago, they've always run the railroads. There's always been stockholders and shareholders that were trying to prioritize profits over their workers.
I know.
It's not anything new.
I know, but it got worse.
SEC worked so well because it's just owned by an investment company.
You're right, man. Because I would rather have an investor instead of a Wall Street guy.
But they are investors. Those people that buy stocks are investors.
Yeah, I own stocks in Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific,
Well, dude.
which I should have probably sold a few days ago, but I didn't.
Yeah, you.
You should have sold those stocks before the strikes would actually occur.
Because the stock is going down. It's tanking right now.
Let me look at Norfolk Southern stock.
It's still 200 some, but it's probably going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looks like previous close 1563. It's now 1509. Oh, it actually is going down. What about Union Pacific? UNP stock. Currently, previous close was at 218. Now it's 211.
Okay, I'm probably
Speaking about stocks, let me try to check on CSX right now.
Even though I know it's going to be at a loss because I bought them. North Union Pacific would be a profit. I think I got it at like 190, but still.
Oh, by the way, the Fruit Express train that Union Pacific does.
What happened?
The Fruit Express.
I've never heard of it.
A train that Union Pacific did that carried fruit and stuff, food.
Oh, Fruit Express. No, I've never heard. I don't recognize it.
After over 100 years, it ended.
Wow.
Crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Cannot believe it actually happening.
No.
I can.
CSX, in it there one about almost 5-10 years ago. I'll be on it about that. But yeah. And speaking of that, Amtrak is resuming service again after they suspended it only for one day.
That was so dumb. I feel like they should have waited until the strike actually. Well, okay, I guess the Empire Builder runs for like 2.5 days, but they canceled the Lakeshore, which is like basically an overnight train.
I know, and
it runs all day through New York, but still, they should have canceled it like the day of. I don't know.
I know, like it's funny, like it's straight up funny. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's funny as hell what happened. Because a lot of passengers are pissed. Greyhound and the airlines are probably going to take advantage of it like they always do, because they're dirty.
Well, David, what else was Amtrak supposed to do? Just simply not tell their customers of the impending strike and expect everything to go well and hope that the strike doesn't happen, and then suddenly there are customers that are even more pissed than before because there's no clear communication?
And then they're stuck on a train in the middle of nowhere, Idaho.
You're right.
Exactly.
Well,
They also don't own their own tracks. Most of them.
No, so I wasn't. I mean, obviously it would have been great, but I live on the Hudson or Empire Service, so they own their own tracks up to Albany.
Mm-hmm. I know that.
Yeah, but are you going to answer my question? Like, are they supposed to just not tell their customers and
No.
not cancel service and just go everything is fine?
No, they should say
should
something.
refund all the customers' tickets. They should have done that.
I'll say they did the right thing, but they did it a little soon.
No, it was like, what, the day or two before? Like,
It was 2 days before, so that's what I was saying with like the Lakeshore and like the one night train.
To me, it seems like they made the call at the right time.
Yeah, maybe a little bit early, but I agree. It's the right time.
You're right about that. It did that. They did have thought about the Pacific, like the Empire Builder, like the long distance train that took 2 days. They should have said it for that, and then the train that took a day, they should have said it the day before.
I think they took that into account, but they just didn't know what was going to happen, so they took what would be the least painful option for everyone involved.
I know. But yeah, you gotta keep on talking. Let me let the dogs back in.
I completely agree, especially the Western Train 2 days early is a perfect call.
Well, I just hope that the workers get their benefits and their time off that they need, because I know the railroad industry has not been good to them, and they deserve much better.
I absolutely agree.
Oh,
So,
all right. 1 minute. Dogs are still outside. Sorry about that, guys.
Work.
By the way, Bright Line's corridor, Bright Line's line to Orlando is 83% complete. So this is going to be interesting.
How do they determine how the progress of the Bright Line corridor? Where does the percentage come from?
I think it's just marketing. So maybe like bridges being finished and shit is all on like a checklist. Whatever they're checking down is whatever the percentage is being complete. I'd probably not did that exact way, but something like that. Or like, this milepost just got finished. Actually, that'd probably make a lot of sense. Well, it's not fair. Obviously, the whole Orlando section still has to be tampered and everything. And then trains testing for probably, a month?
Right.
So, all that. So, I think January they're probably done. I know they're saying Christmas time. I think January they'll be done.
Knowing how infrastructure projects usually happen in the U.S., I'm going to take the more conservative, but just like less optimistic.
No, I know. I get they say Christmas time. They originally said spring, so I'd say late January, early February probably will be done.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. I don't want to dog in the butt.
I live up in New York, so it's a little bit of a trip, but I'll definitely do it. Oh, you live even further away, right? You said Minnesota?
Yes.
See, probably for you. I just been at the city and take Silver Star down, so.
Well, Sun Country does have I think they had a flight going for like $49 to West Palm Beach one way. So I was like, hey, that's pretty good.
That's good. I wish Amtrak could charge much for sleeping cars and ran more on overnight trains. I'd like more people to buy them.
We're talking about bringing night service back to the Northeast Corridor.
Night Owl is back.
And that would be a smart move,
Well, I'd figure it'd be one of their more popular trains. Hey, you can go to sleep in Boston, like in Washington. Yeah. They used to have an overnight train from New York to Toronto or Montreal, one of the two.
Oh, they're talking about doing a night train that will be going through Maine.
Boston to Montreal, and I don't.
That's bizarre.
It's one bizarre, and two, it's going to run through Maine. Maine has one of the worst Department of Transportations in the country. They're so strict about stuff. I don't think it's going to happen. And plus, the reason the Adirondack isn't back yet is because the Montreal Department of Transport or whatever the commuter railway is, they completely own the station now in Montreal, and that's why Amtrak hasn't come back yet, because they don't want to deal with Amtrak.
Thing is that I do think.
You mean Maine? Actually, I don't know if Maine has a train. Amtrak runs through Maine.
It does. It
Ever
does.
heard of this thing called the Downeaster?
Yeah.
5 trains a day.
The Downeastern is an Amtrak train that run up to Maine from Boston.
It's Amtrak equipment owned and operated, but the state of Maine basically pays for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is every state service, but Amtrak is more involved with others. That's almost like completely main on that one, besides equipment and crew.
I mean, come on, just extend the Northeast Corridor all the way up to Maine.
No, it's not that easy. It's not even close.
Ever heard of this thing called North and South Station? They're not connected together.
And the big dig was supposed to solve that problem, and they just made it worse because now it's near impossible, and it's going to be stupid expensive if it does happen.
Yeah, because now there's a massive underground highway that's in the way. We could have just linked North and South Station together.
You know,
the easier Northeast Corridor extension would be south of DC because there's already poles south of the station, and there's more trains running down there.
You know, funny thing, Alan Fisher did a video on why the Big Dig was a failure.
Yes, we all saw that.
And
we all watched it. I don't think it's not a person there.
Plus,
not watch it.
Yeah, plus I was already familiar with the Big Dig and how much of a colossal failure it was long before that video came out.
Yeah, I know my dad. I asked my dad that one time. I was like, why did they connect North and South Station? He told me to look up the Big Dig. And
you know what that money that came to build the Big Dig. You remember how we talked about the Interstate Act? The same thing that the Interstate Act had. What same thing how the Big Dig got money.
Yeah, there was like a few dozen of those.
Like,
well, which one?
The MPTA had money forcibly taken from it and given to the Big Dig.
Yeah, you just heard that from the Alan Fisher video.
No, we did research, but I talked to a couple people I know.
Alan Fisher does make a lot of educational videos as well as urban planning, transit-oriented development, and parking lots, parking garages in general.
Alan Fisher makes some good content. Too bad his community isn't up to par with his content.
I know, and Alan Fisher is a good person. It's just that the people in his group, some of them don't believe in it stuff, you know?
What's people?
I always seen someone in Alan Fisher group that was a card supporter and, was cussing him out.
I like cards.
I know, I'm not talking about that type of card supporter. I'm talking about the type of card supporter who hate trains and want to pave over everything.
Because if they did that, why would they support Alan Fisher? Their ideologies are completely on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
I know, and I just said, how did the guy get in? And a couple hours later, he was kicked out of the group, you know?
Come on, literally anyone can join the Alan Fisher server. It's an invite link in the description of his videos. It's not that hard.
I know. We did have the same problem in, the American Rail Club and their Facebook, too, at one point. Was
it like wide open?
Yes, I remember that. Back in the day. But
how long ago was this?
About a year ago. Before and then a couple months ago they tried to crack it down on people who would car exit on suburban nights.
And why did they do this?
Because they started trying to, destroy the American Rail Club by putting false stuff in there that made trains look bad.
And that, you think, would have destroyed the American Rail Club?
Well, the guy who put it in there, he got exposed when he would talk to another guy who found out, and they exposed him, and he got kicked out of the group.
I'm not familiar with this drama, so I don't follow.
Wow, dude, all right, well, let's get over that, but Jane, Alan Fisher do make good video, and the Big Dig video he did on why Big Dig was a failure, I agree with, That I'll be honest about. The Big Dig was a colossal failure, and, instead of investing in transit like rail transit, they invested in that, what was stupid. If y'all remember.
I think that was the DOT isn't, the MDOT is pretty stupid by investing the Big Dig.
And it's up that people don't get it that, our infrastructure need to look better than this,
Yes, it doesn't actually get rid of traffic.
And
It doesn't.
building more roads don't solve the problem. We've seen how it worked. We don't want any more of it. Like, they don't get it through their thick skull that this stuff is stupid. Am I right?
Right.
I literally don't know what goes on well, then again, Massachusetts DOT is much better than, say, Texas's DOT, which just simply seems to be a machine specifically designed to make roads and nothing else.
Exactly.
But at least with Massachusetts, they actually tried to, well, granted, how they went about it wasn't that great, but at least with Massachusetts DOT, they actually had some projects designed to offset the greenhouse gas emissions that they sent to the MBTA to build. Like, forget what that one commuter line is. It goes to cities like Cohasset, but it's like, it doesn't go to Cape Cod, but it's like along
the coast,
the ocean.
But I'll be on it. Thing that I'll be on it about is that, we got to stop investing in car infrastructure because, let's be honest, it's suicidal.
Are you talking about new infrastructure or maintaining existing infrastructure?
New infrastructure that the car sends.
Okay, so at least you're not as dumb as Penzi fan, who says that we should just stop investing in roads altogether.
Oh, God. Sorry.
Well, actually, we do need roads, but actually, we don't. It's not our. Well, the car isn't our primary focus because there's got to be more options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but simply cutting all investment to even maintaining roads is a dangerous idea.
And that I have.
But you have a point there.
Mm-hmm. Thing is, we need a balance. Like, we need a balance in stuff, and we never do it. Am I right?
You have a point there.
But I'll be honest. Our country been effing up because we want to build for, car-centric people. My brother, Zach, I'm in the middle of the
I don't know what you're saying.
My little brother in here, and I just told him that I'm middle of the live stream. But I'll be honest. We do need car infrastructure, but not to keep on building it. We already have enough as it is, Like,
actually, we actually have to repair what we already have and keep maintaining it.
I know. Instead of trying to, build more over it,
Yeah.
Like.
Also, don't pull a Texas DOT and try to give cities more than one ring road. That doesn't end up well at all. Like, no city needs more than one ring road.
I know. The ring road that will both be here in Charleston, like in downtown Charleston, they never completed it. It'll both be a ring road that came all the way from the other side all the way to Johnson James Island. Never completed it.
Excuse me.
It's crazy.
So, by the way, they should add more lanes to traffic, though, because it's going to make traffic even worse.
I know.
I think David already made that point.
Yes, I did. Like the one more lane, bro. You remember that meme? One more lane.
Yeah, Alan Fisher made that.
I'm not gonna lie.
One more lane.
That meme is fucking hilarious, Because it's true, when you think about it, it's actually hilarious and freaking true when you think about it deeply,
You don't need to think about it that much to find it funny or true, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, actually. If you add one more lane, you're actually kicking the can down the road, literally.
And here, Jane, not the bikes that we brought up in his video that instead of adding more lanes, we need to be getting rid of lane and replacing them with transit.
Yeah, like road diets.
Mm-hmm. And here's something funny. You remember when they were tearing down the road in Seattle, that interstate that they would tear?
No, it was the Alaskan Way Viaduct.
Yeah. They were worried because they were building a tunnel under the city, and there were going to be 2 weeks where from when they tear that down to where the tunnel opening, and they were afraid that there were going to be terrible traffic. Instead, the complete opposite happened. There were less traffic, more people using transit and walking. And the thing is, think about it. If that's telling you how much people want to do stuff that don't involve car infrastructure, that means we need to change on what we do,
Actually, instead of they're actually building the tunnel, the Alaskan, let's say the Alaskan tunnel. That's actually in Seattle. Instead of that, we could actually invest in the Amtrak Escape service.
Mm-hmm. Heck, even though they had that one incident 2 years ago, that was, human error right there. You remember?
Yeah, the circle crash.
Yeah, that was human error. And thing is that the line is finally being reopened after 3 years. We'd have it 3 years.
Added positive train control.
And thing is that the people who supported it started going against it, saying we don't need it anymore just because of train wreck. And then some of them, started driving cars,
You didn't answer my question.
Mm-hmm.
Did they add positive train control?
Yeah, they have added it now.
Good, because that was their biggest mistake prior.
Mm-hmm.
Was not adding it.
Also, those train sets are aging right now. They were using the Siemens Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm talking about the Talgo train sets.
Yeah, the Talgo train.
Because I thought DuPont, Circle, Derailment. Because I'm pretty sure I saw Chargers in there.
There was one Charger. But that Charger did not get destroyed. It was the locomotive up front. It was the Charger up front that got destroyed when it derailed.
Yeah, I was going to say, there were Chargers in use, and those are brand new locomotives.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's not the problem with the Chargers. I think it's the problem with the Talgo train sets. They're actually aging right now.
Mm-hmm.
How old are they?
Almost 30 years old. They're almost 30 years old. They were built back in the 90s,
Yes, they actually, the Cascade route, the Cascades needs much needed, they need a replacement for those train sets. In other words, the coaches and the cafe car.
Mm-hmm. And Jane, is it that the Talgo set, they're old?
Yeah. By the way, Siemens is actually working on that with their new venture coaches.
Mm-hmm. I know, and that thing that I agree on, like the new Talgo coaches, they're bigger, and I would have to say go bigger with the partner coaches, not smaller.
Why bigger?
Because it's much safer in a train derailment, because you rather be in something bigger than smaller, because it didn't take something bends.
Say that again.
Just in case something bends or get crushed,
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm, because you don't want to be stuck in a small sardine can like an airplane, when you think about it that way.
Like Spirit Airlines.
Oh my God, that is true. Oof. That is true.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
Hmm?
Have you seen Brett Paula's stand-up show about Spirit Airlines?
Oh my God, yes.
That That's hilarious.
I know.
I get a feeling that Spirit Airlines is so cheap that they put a picture of clouds on your window to drive you to your next location.
Oh my goodness, that is so hilarious.
It is.
Everything gonna be okay? And she said, we'll see.
You know that Spirit Airlines is, well, one of my friends that flew Spirit Airlines, he said that though the experience is painful. It's painfully awful.
Oh, I heard bad stuff about it. Even though I have never rode a plane, I know a lot of shit about planes.
I've actually flown Spirit once, and they've actually, well, they have bad customer service back in the day.
Hey, Jane was with, United. Oh my God, United. Oof.
United, or United.
You remember the time that they broke someone's cigar and he made a song about it?
Who's he?
I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy, he was a music singer, and he had a guitar, and they tossed it around, and it got broken, and he tried suing them for it, and they wouldn't, pay for the damages, so he made a song about them breaking it. It called United Broke My Guitar.
Sounds like something Bo Burnham would write.
The song is very hilarious. But an example on... I'm sorry.
I've heard some complaints about JetBlue Airways here in another country that I'm living here.
Oh, he back. Hey, what's going on, man?
No, my whole... Okay, so I have 3 cats and a dog, and the dog doesn't like the cats, vice versa.